underway. All right, there we go.
I
Sheriff,
think you need an assistant.
I do too. There's room behind this big desk for at least two people, so I need more fingers back here to help push buttons. People don't realize how many screens I'm looking at. I'm starting to feel like dispatch.
It's a lot going on up here. I think you might be a good candidate for dispatch.
Yes, I think so too. Sheriff, how are you this morning?
I'm doing well. It's good to be here this morning.
It's glad to have you. I'm glad to have you back. And we don't have our clip-on microphones today, so we're using a different microphone, and hopefully that microphone's picking us up just fine and dandy.
It should be able to pick me up well. I've never been accused of people not being able to hear me. Most people in the county could probably hear me if I wasn't broadcasting over the radio. I
think when people tell you that your voice travels well, people tell me that a lot too, and I think that they're just trying to tell me I have a big mouth.
My wife always says that when she goes to Walmart and me and her go together, she always says, I'm just going to leave my cell phone in the car because I know where you're at, wherever you're at in Walmart. I can hear you. So
that works.
She don't ever look for me. She knows where I'm at.
And I can always hear your laughter too whenever you're laughing. And for some reason, our video is glitching just a little bit there. It's a little slow. Maybe my tablet might need
probably the
resetting.
cold weather. I think everything's cold today.
I bet so. And I'm glad the schools were not totally closed today, except for Hiawassee Dam and Clay County. They were closed.
Right.
But that's not in Kim Deputy says it's the laugh. Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Hiawassee Dam was closed because of power outage, and we posted a message from Blue Ridge Mountain EMC today that their power, they had to replace a power pole down on 294. And that means that power in that area in Hiawassee Dam is going to be off until probably around 11:45 or 12 this morning, so we want to let folks know about that. Clay County, they were closed today due to widespread illnesses. There's a lot of flu in our area going around.
I saw something that Dr. Connolly had posted yesterday about our schools. I think we're only at like 7 to 10% right now with absentees, so I think we're still a while away before we have to close schools for illness, but they can change pretty quick.
Yes,
certainly can. One thing I do want to mention as we're talking about cold weather and illness and those type of things is I know a lot of people are getting firewood and trying to keep their firewood stocked. Looks like we've got some more cold weather coming this next week or two, and looks like it's got front after front coming. My jail captain wanted me to announce on the radio today that we are out of seasoned dry wood, so that we can still deliver wood, but whatever we deliver will be green. So people just need to understand that it'll be freshly cut green wood. And
what kind of seasoning do you use? It sounds delicious.
Yeah, it's that hardwood seasoning.
It's Bad Joke Friday from Tim Radford. Yes,
it is. It's been a day for me. But anyway, but we are do still have firewood. We'll still deliver, but we are out of seasoned dry wood, and it'll be just fresh cut green wood. So if you don't have any dry wood at home, you may not want a complete load of green wood, so just let us know that when you call and ask for wood, so we can determine whether we need to bring you any or not.
All right. What else is going on at the Sheriff's Department right now? You had a very, very busy week.
I've had a busy week this week. It's been wide open. Today was very busy. It's been I told Tim when I came in it was like Monday today. It's just been one thing after another running all morning. But one thing I do want to mention is we had the incident last week that consumed Facebook for a day or two. That had to do with some tannerite explosion down on the lower end of the county.
I saw that. People were asking about what that noise was.
So there's a lot of issues with that, and people want to know what the law is and what you can do and can't do with that. And where the confusion came was this: is there was. People didn't know whether it was an airplane crash, earthquake, what happened. Just some type of explosion, the ground shook, and so people were very concerned with what might happen. Our dispatch center was bombarded with calls as to what was going on and thought the plane had crashed or something of that nature. There was some folks down the lower end of the county that in the Ranger area that discharged some tannerite.
What is tannerite?
Tannerite is a binary explosive where you have two different chemicals that you mix together that creates an explosive. Tannerite is legal. It is sold as primarily for exploding targets and target practice. What it's sold for basically is when you do long-range shots, like multiple 100 yards, 300 to 500 yards, or some people even 1,000-yard shot. For those snipers that are out there that can conduct that kind of windage and elevation and all those kind of things to make those shots. Tannerite is used so the target will explode when you hit it, so that you can get visual confirmation that you hit what you were aiming at. And so it is legal because it's a binary explosive, which means it can be transported safely, stored safely, all those kind of things. The problem came with this, though, and a lot of people don't realize this. When checking on tannerite, and you talk about the legalities of it, it is legal to possess tannerite under 50 pounds. If you have under 50 pounds of it, it is legal to possess it. But there is a law against detonating it, and a lot of people don't realize that. They don't know that. If you, general statute, and you can look this up if you like or Google it, General Statute 14-283 says that it is illegal to discharge an explosive, whether it's dynamite, black powder, or anything other of like nature, that it is illegal to discharge that if it's not been used for mechanical purposes for a business. Mm-hmm. And so only businesses can use that to discharge it, and they have to have permits and things like that to do that. So it is illegal to discharge it. It's a Class 1 misdemeanor to discharge it. But the problem is a lot of people just check on the legality of, can I own tannerite, can I possess it? And when you do those kind of searches, it just comes back and says, yes, it's legal up to 50 pounds. So people have it and think it's legal, and they're not doing anything wrong. So we don't have people out here that is trying to create havoc or trying to cause problems within the community, because they really truly believe what they were doing was legal. And like I say, the possession of it is legal, but it's the discharging of it that is illegal to do that. So I just want to make sure that people understand that out there, and they get that knowledge out there, that it is illegal to make homemade bombs. It is illegal for to explode tannerite and those type of things. So I just wanted people to know that, so they don't continue that kind of activity.
All right, and the people who had set it off over the weekend, was it just for fun, or?
Yeah, it was just for fun.
Mm-hmm. Just to see an explosion.
Right.
How big of an area could hear that around their home?
It was quite a large area. It was discharged in Ranger area, and I think we had call-ins all the way down in Hiwassee Dam, 294.
Wow.
A lot of those west end of the county. Most of the people on the west end of the county felt it or could hear it. And so with that being said, one of the problems with that, and one of the reasons why it's illegal to discharge, is because of the confusion that ensues afterwards, and the panic in people, and dispatch center being flooded with calls. We had fire trucks out that were looking for something that had exploded or blown up. Had law enforcement out, expended man hours trying to figure out what was going on with that. And so those are all reasons why they make it illegal to discharge that without being used for business or for a mechanical purpose for business. So we just want to make sure that people understand that, and they don't just naturally assume because it's legal to possess, it's legal to detonate, because that's simply not true.
All right. What's it used? What do companies who possess that inspired? Is it for building destructions, things like that?
Some quarries may use it. If you got a rock quarry or things of that nature, or you got a quarry out on the west end of the county, you got one over at Topton. I don't know what kind of explosives they use, but they use explosives. If you're doing tunneling for whatever reason, whether it may be for railroad or for
that was my first thought was tunneling.
They may use those type of explosives. And a lot of people have moved away from dynamites and nitroglycerins to tannerite, because tannerite is safe until you combine the ingredients in it to make it explosive. So because it's a binary and it's not and it's not readily explosive all the time, it is legal to possess.
And folks on Facebook Live, if you're watching and having any audio dropout issues, I don't know if we're having a connection issue, but we're using a Wi-Fi connection to get this out over the airwaves. A couple of people, I've noticed the video jittering a few times, but we'll just blame the sheriff on any and all technical issues. But if you want to hear the program live on the radio, you can tune in. If you're having any glitches on the Facebook feed, we're at 105.5 FM here in Murphy, 1320 AM. Cable TV channel 25, you can listen that way, and there's no glitches on the radio and TV broadcasts. Or you can listen to our audio stream at country.am, or you can download the TuneIn app or Simple Radio app and listen that way. Sometimes when we have Yes, dropping in and out, says Mia Saturn. So feel free to just tune into the broadcast on the audio version and listen to the show that way. I could try to reboot this tablet and see if it's a speed issue, but by the time I get it set back up again, our show will be over
Right.
with. So we'll direct folks to our audio streams that way so they can hear the feeds. All right.
I tend to break Facebook whenever I use it. I don't know why, but I tend to do.
You do. If I'm in your car filming, the first time I used this camera, it melted down, and I had to send it back to the factory.
Right.
And I've only had technical issues when you're here.
Right. I don't understand.
So I actually typed
I've always
a
said
note.
it's my magnetic personality.
That's it.
I don't
Yes.
know. That may
the
be.
magnetic personality.
Yeah.
So, we have 2 more videos to do this afternoon, and I bet those go perfectly.
I bet they will.
So we'll find out.
So, anything else you want to talk about this week, Tim, that I didn't talk about? I know the Tannerite was the main thing that was going on.
Let's see. Did we have any press releases issued this week? I don't think we had any new press releases.
We've been, of course, been out working on drugs again this week, and as we do every day and every week, you probably saw the press release in the paper. I think it was last week's edition of the paper. The amounts of methamphetamine that was seized and heroin and all those things that we've done over the last few years. Our officers have done a great job of trying to get some of this stuff off the street and trying to make those more trafficking cases and felony cases to try to get some of these people put in jail. But the thing about it is, and Matthew kind of quoted me at the end of the paper, but I want to explain that a little bit. I told Matthew it's kind of like taking a garden hose and standing in the middle of a forest fire and squirting it out. Here in Cherokee County, we can fight the drug issue, and we can fight it to the best of our ability, but we are spraying water on what's around us, and the rest of the nation is raging in a forest fire. And so we're literally standing in the middle of a forest fire trying to put the fire out with the water hose, and we're trying to just keep the fires beat back and keep beat back around us. And with that being said, a lot of times we make a lot of arrests, we seize a lot of drugs, we do those things, but obviously, when one person gets put in jail that's a supplier, and of the amount of money they were making, the amount of drugs they're putting on the street, somebody else wants to step in that position and do it. And they want to make the money and be the head honcho. So we are constantly identifying those people, who they are trying to step into positions, who they are that's trying to become the main dealers, and we continually go after different people all the time. And so it's just a never-ending battle. It's just a battle that we can't afford to stop, but we have to keep going.
All right. Another thing that we're going to be broadcasting tomorrow at 1 o'clock on Facebook Live is there's a community meeting at Murphy Bible Church. I understand you have previous engagements and can't be there, but look forward to doing another one of these type meetings. But the community is going to get together and just discuss ideas how we as a community can help combat. We can partner with law enforcement,
and I think one of the things about this meeting tomorrow, even though I'm not going to be there, I think we're going to have some of our people from the sheriff's office there representing the office. But we're not there to get into arguments. We're not there to hash out cases and things that we're working on and all that kind of stuff. I think the purpose, and Pastor Adams can correct me if I'm wrong about this, but I think the purpose of this meeting tomorrow is just trying to engage in community involvement and what people would like to see happen, and what some ideas they may have, and some things that they would like to see happen within the community. And so what I encourage people to do is I encourage people not to come to this meeting complaining about all the problems, because we know what the problems are. We know what the problems in our community are, and we know we have drug issues, and we know that we constantly fight this stuff. So we don't need to be explained that we have a problem.
We know that.
We know that. We need people to come with ideas, and we need people to come with information as far as, this is what I'm thinking, and this is what I think would be good for our community, and why can't we do this, and why can't we develop this kind of program. So I think that's the purpose for the meeting.
If everybody comes there tomorrow with the whole idea, let me be a part of the solution, then we can move forward and work closely with law enforcement and other agencies who are wanting to I realize there's a lot of addicts right now that desperately want to get rid of that lifestyle, and they want to see that productive side of them, and but sometimes they just need an extra level of support. And another thing, let's talk about the Day Use Center again. Tell folks who may be watching about we
That
posted
actually
that
starts Monday. I think.
starts Monday.
Yeah.
So tell folks who can use that, when it's going to be open, and where it's located.
Actually, the Day Use Center is going to be located at Murphy First Baptist Church. It's going to be open from 10 to 4, starting on Monday. It'll be open a couple days a week. And so what we're wanting to do is that's going to be open and available for anyone in need. It's not just people who's addicted to drugs. It's not just the homeless. It's not just anything. It's open to the public. So if you have any kind of needs or any kind of problems that you need assistance with, Pastor Tanner and the First Baptist Church has graciously opened their doors to allow us to get the program off the ground and running there. That is not going to be a permanent location, but we are actively seeking somewhere else to start that and get a building to do that in. We've also got some places in Andrews that we're looking at doing one in Andrews. So we're using this as a pilot program at First Baptist to get it off the ground. But things that'll be available is there'll be a meal available. There'll be a place to eventually down the road, I don't know if it will be on Monday, but eventually down the road there'll be a place to take a shower, to wash clothes. There'll be counseling available. There'll be both spiritual counseling and secular counseling, clinical counseling. There will be other things such as job counseling. There will be other things that people may need. So whatever you need as far as a resource that you need to try to get in contact with, please share that with people that this is what I need from this center, because we're just shooting from the hip. We're just going off the ground on this thing. And so our ideas and the things that we have brought to the table that we think would be good for our community may find out that there's other needs that we haven't thought about. So we want to steer this in the direction that it will actually help people, not something to build a reputation or we think we're doing something good.
See, I've been racking my mind about this, and I couldn't help but think about when we had the tornado that passed through our area a few years ago, and there were so many people in need back then for like places to shower and laundry and
Right.
and the resources. Where do I go? I know they did a fantastic job
Right.
with the, let's see, I know the North Carolina Baptist men were set up providing food and things like that at Murphy First Baptist. So maybe this can work in conjunction with that to offer other resources.
And one of the
well.
things that we're talking about doing as far as the showers and the washing machines and stuff, we don't have it available yet, but we are trying to do that in a mobile trailer system. So that when we do have a natural disaster or those type of events that's happening, we'll be able to utilize that and take it to different places. For example, I think it was, about 5 years? Gosh, it's been a long time. I guess about 5 years ago now, we had that tornado that went through Texana and through Murphy. And so, the Texana community was a community that could have greatly benefited having a place to wash clothes and take showers and things of that nature. So we're looking to make that mobile so we can take that to different places also. And so we're just trying to look for something and develop something that will help our community and help our people get back on their feet that are in need, whether they be drug addicted, whether they be homeless, whatever it may happen, or a combination of both. And not just that, but people that may need some mental help, people that needs mental counseling and things of that nature. So, but you could just be passing through, and you could have a vehicle that broke down at McDonald's and just need some help and some resources on who to contact and we'll help you too, So we just want people to understand and know that it's open to the entire public for whatever that need may be. And I saw on here, I think Eric Hall had posted on here that as far as the thing at the
Murphy Bible
Church, he says, yeah, that's exactly what we're planning for tomorrow. So understand that he made a good point out on here on the things that he had put on there. And I've said for years that the drug situation is not a law enforcement problem, but it's a community issue. It's a community problem. And so by doing this thing like they're doing tomorrow, of doing the community day center and trying to get this off the ground, it's a way of trying to get our community involved with what we're doing and trying to help them get involved with being the solution to what is going on. So if we rely just solely on law enforcement to fix the drug problem, then the law enforcement's never going to win it. So we need a community approach to this community involvement.
All right. And for folks watching on Facebook Live, I did unplug the external microphone. It uses the the iPad Fire port or whatever that is. Hopefully that might fix the jittering in case that was using too many resources. So I don't know if it's going to help or not, but the audio level probably changed. But it could just be a connection issue as well for folks watching on there. And let's see, and if Pastor Ben Adams is listening, or if Eric, if y'all can Facebook message me the Wi-Fi password for the church. We'll be doing that live stream there from the church as well. So
also too, I think there's some questions on here about supplies and things that needs if we need anything like that. The contact person for that is Nancy Chastain. And so I think on our flyers that we handed out and stuff, she has her web address on there. And so you can email her for anyone that would like to help, donate, supplies, things of that nature. I don't have that readily in front of me. I don't know if you still have it on your computer or not over there, but you can contact Nancy Chastain with that. If you need her information, if you can just contact me at the sheriff's office, I can get that to you and get you the information that you need to make contact with her. But she's the one that's kind of heading this up and organizing it. Her and Jenny Irwin over at the school system is helping with this. So they're the ones that's kind of putting all this together and getting it going. And I'm very good about having great ideas and hand it off to somebody else to do. No, seriously, when we started doing this, I did explain to them right off the bat when we had our community meetings that I had these ideas for these community programs and things to do. But as sheriff, I've just got too many things to do to try to hit up this and do it. So I'm so glad that Nancy and Jenny was willing to step in and hit this up.
There's a quote I read last month, and it stuck with me. It says, you can do anything you set your mind to, just not everything you set your mind to. So that I've had to kind of try to balance things out myself there. I can do anything I want to, just not everything. So it makes sense having help. And folks that can actually do these things.
Mitchell Shields, when he was the director of missions at Trip Baptist Association, used to go to Mitchell with ideas and say things, and I've heard other pastors do that, go to Mitchell and say, I've got this idea. And he would always say, great. He said, the Lord didn't reveal it to me. He revealed it to you, so go with it. So I guess it's something we, as a community, we need to get together and do some community involvement to combat this problem, though. And one thing I want to mention to people as we're talking about this, as I do my presentation, I want you to understand that we have no grand delusions that we're going to help 100% of the population and that we're going to be completely 100% drug-free and that we're just going to fix everything that's out there. That we know that's not going to happen. But when you think about the fact of the people out there that need help, we know people will take advantage of us. We know people will come to get whatever they can get. And we know that. But the fact of the matter is, if we can help, if we could turn around 25% of the people out here that are drug addicted or homeless or both or other issues that they're going with, if we could help them become productive members of society and get employment, get jobs, buy homes, all those things, just think about how that would help our community, not only economically, but these are people that are not stealing stuff and breaking into houses and using drugs and being part of that supply chain for drugs. And so if we could just help 25% of the people, think what an impact we could have.
Absolutely.
However, if only one person is helped, then it's still well worth it.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of folks that are in situations now where they're living paycheck to paycheck and they need help too. It's not because they've made a bad decision in life. It's because that, they are in situations that don't allow for a lot of financial prosperity. And there's situations like these last 2 months of power bills and heating bills, kerosene, or whatever.
And just circumstances.
Circumstances. Because we've been single digits for so long, a lot of people are going to have trouble paying their power bills this month. So are there any programs out there to help people in need that are in situations like that?
Department of Social Services has things that they can help citizens with as far as like power bills and even things as far as health care and all those type of things. But there's qualifications you have to meet for that. And so that's something you would just have to contact the Department of Social Services about and see what they have to offer and explain your need and if there's anything they can do to help you. There's currently a young lady that came to the office this week that was needing help, and I've been all week trying to find resources and places to help her, and I think she'll be a good candidate for the Day Youth Center next week. But I put her in contact with some people from the school system. She has a child in the school, and trying to get them to help her and see if there's things they can do to reach out and help her. So we may not have the solution to everything that's out there, But we can certainly give it our best effort and try to do what we can to help those that are around us.
I remember growing up as a kid, whenever folks were having some issues, local churches got together, community centers got together, and it was a situation where they had benefits and fundraisers just to help these families in needs. You don't see that as much, but you still see that here lately. So I would love to see this kind of thing. We see a whole county, a community helping each other out.
Well, one thing I would like to do a plea to, because we've not got to this point yet, but I want people to be thinking about it, is with this Day Use Center, as it grows and as we have people coming and utilizing this, I want to put a plea out there to the business owners and the merchants in the area. I want you to be thinking about giving people opportunity for employment and giving people who are addicted to drugs an opportunity for employment, people who have felonies an opportunity for employment. Now, we know that we have to be wise with our business. We know that we have to be wise with people we employ. And certainly if you have someone that has a felony conviction for embezzlement or drug use or whatever it may be, you don't want to put them over your cash register and do your finances for you. Now, we understand that. But think about things like construction workers for day labor, needing someone to carry 2x4s or carry shingles to put on roofs, and paving companies that need people to use a broom and sweep off parking lots and things of that nature. So be thinking about those opportunities that you have in your business that you could give somebody a chance for employment and that you could help them. But with the understanding that you may have people who are still currently addicted to drugs and may have people who are still currently struggling with whatever they have. But we need employers that will be willing to stick a hand out and say, I will give you an opportunity.
Right.
And so as far as this Day Use Center and what we're doing, we're trying to do some incentives once we get off the ground, is to keep people incentives to stay clean, give people incentives to get the help they need. For example, if we have an employer that says, I can utilize 5 people for this construction site, maybe take 5 of your people you've got there and say, if you will agree to enroll in drug counseling, if you'll agree to make all your mental health appointments and do all these things that you're supposed to do, as long as you're doing that, then we have a person here that will agree to employ you, then give you some money and a paycheck and those kind of things to help you get on your feet. So we don't want to just walk into this blind and just be a handout to people and hand people stuff. But we want to give people incentives to do the right things and give them the opportunity to step up and do the right things.
And that could be the boost that someone needs to get their life back in order again.
Right.
You have talked about when the inmates go out and do the mowing and clean up the campgrounds and things like that, that they're so excited and they're very productive. And we look at some of the towns that if the kids have a lot to do, we're not talking about drug users, but if kids have activities to do to keep them from being bored all the time, then they can stay busy and be productive. But whenever people get bored, what happens? They turn to other things to help pass the time.
And as everything else, you can go back to the Bible and get scripture for that. It says idle hands are the devil's workshop.
Yep. I had that preached to me when I was a kid. And,
I don't think it's exactly in those words. I think there's a wives' tale mixed in with that. But the Bible does talk about idle hands lead to sin and lead to those things. So we know that giving people a reason to be productive and giving people a reason to be a productive member of society sometimes is all they need to step up to the plate and do the right thing. They're just looking for that opening, that light at the end of the tunnel, to give them some encouragement to get out of the darkness they're in.
I think a lot of people out there, especially who have turned to drugs, they haven't really found that reason to exist.
Right.
And they just need something to give them purpose.
Right. And I think that's all it amounts to, is giving some people some self-esteem and making them feel like that they can do it, that they can get out of the position they're in.
I know if I'm out sick at work and stay home in bed for about 5 days in a row, after day 5, I feel extremely worthless. Yeah. Like, what have I've done nothing. So, yeah, I think that's a good thing. And if the business owners out there and can help out that way, then you could possibly turn around somebody's life, and that'll just trickle down to other folks as well.
Right. So, like I say, this thing is fluid. So, what we're going to do for the month of February, we're starting on Monday. So our plan is for the month of February, instead of just coming in and just bombarding people with all these offers of help and all these my tongue's getting tired this morning, all these offers of counseling and all these offers of different job counselings and different things, is for the month of February, we're going to take building relationships. We're going to offer meals, and we're going to have some places you can get cleaned up and all those kind of things. And we're going to spend this month building relationships with people and assessing the needs and seeing what the needs out there are. If it's primarily drug related that we're seeing, then we'll gear our people who are coming, our people who are attending, we'll gear more toward drug counseling. You know, if the people that are coming are maybe they're not drug addicted, but they're homeless and they need a job, but then we may gear it toward job counseling. You know, so and we may have a combination of all those things, but we want to take the month of February and just kind of assess what we have and what we have in our community, and that way we can better give those resources to where
and
it's needed.
This is brand new. So what if no one shows up?
We'll just keep doing it. Somebody does.
All right. Because we want to help get the word out. And we posted the flyer on our website. I think we shared it from the Andrews Journal's page. So you can always go there and share that on your timeline.
Right.
And it's going to be this Monday from what time did you say?
10 to 4, I believe.
10 to 4.
Yeah.
And you said that's going to be a weekly.
I think it's 2 days a week is what they're starting
2 days
off
a week?
with. Yeah, that's what they're starting off with, to see what kind of attendance we have. And they're kind of mirroring on what Murphy First is already doing for their they already do a meal. And so we're just kind of piggybacking on what they're already doing there, and kind of coexisting with them until we see what we have to work with.
All right. Well, Sheriff.
Uh-huh.
I see our time is about up. And anything else you want to add before we say our goodbyes for the week?
Just stay warm, because like I say, I don't think this is the end of winter. As far as I saw on TV this morning, I think the groundhogs kept going back in their hole, didn't they?
Yeah. Let's see. When I heard this morning, 6 more weeks of winter.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was hearing.
So I'm not too pleased with that, but at least we have days to celebrate, right?
At least I didn't come in wearing a groundhog costume.
Oh, goodness. I think I'd have had nightmares and bad dreams about that.
There you go. You
yes.
might.
You never know what sparks those bad dreams. Groundhog costumes. Yeah, I did wake up thinking about that Groundhog Day movie where he kept on waking up over and over again. That was a lot of fun. I'm going to watch that again. All right. Well, Sheriff, we'll do this again, same time, same place next week right here on WKRK. And hopefully next week the Sheriff won't break our technology once again.
I hope not.
We'll go there. What's going on tomorrow, says Ed Fleming. Tomorrow we'll be doing a live Facebook Live feed at 1 o'clock from Murphy Bible Church. And that's just out Highway 64 above I believe it's above Monte Alban. Smith Hollow Road is the address. Citizens are getting together to figure out how they can help be part of the solution for our drug problem in our area. Not just Murphy or Andrews, Cherokee, but I mean, it goes outside our county border.
Right.
So a lot of folks getting together tomorrow, and we'll do a Facebook Live broadcast of that. We hope to see you there, and folks who want to be a part of that meeting, you're welcome to show up there as well. And have a great day, and we'll talk to you again. And folks on Facebook Live and radio, we'll have the mayor of Murphy, Rick Ramsey, here at 12:50, and at 2:05 we'll be having our brand new Celebrate Cherokee County show with hosts me, Tim Radford, and David Brown from the Cherokee Scout Andrews Journal. And our guest today at 2:05 will be Cherokee County Superintendent Dr. Gina Conley and Dr. Brenda Chambliss from Bodybuilders Television Network and Embassy Christian Center here in Murphy. So we'll see you then here on the radio and on Facebook Live. You're tuned to 105.5 FM, 1320 AM, Cable TV Channel 25, and worldwide we're at country.am. And I'll hit my stop button right here.